Hey everybody, Crypto Mentor 99, and I am with my favorite and only dog, Raspberry. You're famous. Sit down here. I can't believe he got so many responses in the past half hour that I did the last video. So he's waiting for dinner. It's about late afternoon here. But anyhow, this is a goofy video, okay? I'll see how long that he sits there. So I've got a little too much free time on my hands this afternoon. So I'm gonna do a little video on all the famous people I've ever met or spoken to. How about that? I am 60, okay? How long is he gonna stay there? Where is he at? Okay. So let's start with, well, let me shrink me here. Let's start with okay, Pierre Pilat. Pierre Pilat is a old Chicago Blackhawk hockey player. He may even be passed away, to be honest with you. I was probably, when we lived in Chicago, I was probably, see, I was born in 58. So this must have been 65 or 66. I wasn't even in kindergarten yet. So I was 5 or 6 or 7. So Pierre Pilat was at the Itasca Country Club and he was signing autographs. I was on a youth hockey team there. And kind of a funny story, Pierre walked in with like his, not his bodyguard, they didn't have bodyguards back then, but with the gentleman that probably drove him. And I had my piece of paper and pen, and I went up to the driver and said, "Hi, Mr. Pilat, can I have your autograph?" And the guy's like, "That's not me, it's the guy over there." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So anyhow, so Pierre Pilat was my first hockey autograph. Thank you, Pierre. Um, my next one was Serge Savard, played for the Montreal Canadiens. I was a little guy back then too. I must have been at the old Chicago Stadium. I think I've got this right. Not the United Center, but at the old Chicago Stadium, how like the rink would be like rectangular in shape. So in Chicago, they had gate one, two, three, and then four, five, and six on the other side of the rink. Well, gate 3.5 was on one of the short sides of the building. That's where all the players went in. So my dad had a friend that worked for like Hershey's chocolate or something, always got hockey tickets. So it was not Stanley Cup, it was a playoff game. And that was the year, check, fact checked me, okay? This was the year that Serge Savard broke his leg. So he wasn't playing. So my dad and I walked in gate, we went to the will call window, got our tickets, walked in gate 3.5. That was a big deal back then. Gate three. If you walked in gate 3.5, you were somebody. So a lot. 3 or 4 French Canadian reporters were like, I never heard French before. I was probably maybe third, fourth, fifth grade, maybe fifth or sixth. I was a little guy. Anyhow, I remember my dad says, "Here's a program. There's your favorite defenseman. He was number 18. Serge Savard. Go up and ask him for his autograph." And he was speaking to 2 French reporters. And he looked more like this, or like that. Okay. So I went up and I'm like, I mean, I just remember looking up to him with my paper and pencil, asking him. He was super kind. I got his autograph, Serge Savard. Um, I was so nervous. I wasn't super nervous with Pierre Pilat because I was so young, but Serge Savard, I knew he was somebody. And but anyhow, I digress. Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea. So I'm at the Rosemont Horizon, now called the Allstate Center in Chicago, well, actually in Rosemont, Illinois. Call it Chicago. And I'm at a wrestling match. I have no idea. I must have been, was I out of the Marines? I was a young adult. Call me 25, 25, 24. So we get to the Rosemont Horizon way early. And we're standing like right by the door. Like there's two windows over here, right? There's two windows there. So we're like standing right where the guys walk in. And they had like these, not pylons, these like security gates, I guess. So out of this huge white stretch limo walks Hulk Hogan. And again, I don't know how old he is now. I was 25 at the time. Let's say he's 40. I have no idea. I mean, he had the tan going. He had the Hulkamaniac bandana. It was like I was hyperventilating. Okay, I'm like, get me a brown bag. Hulk Hogan just walked by. And so he gets out of the limo, which is kind of not way out in the parking lot. If you've ever been to the Rosemont Horizon, there's like a little ramp or an exit or an entrance area where if they're playing hockey there, the Chicago Wolves, they go in there. If you're having like a circus, the circus people go in there. So it was a little bit of a walk, and he wasn't high-fiving people, but I definitely got some eye contact with him before he walked in the door. Didn't get his autograph. He wasn't doing that. But anyhow, am I going too slow? And then Kurt Angle was also on the card. He wasn't wrestling Hulk Hogan, but that's when Kurt Angle, again, fact check me on this, it's kind of when he was brand new. Like he was more like they were promoting him more like as an ex-Olympian than kind of more, not this uniform, but he was a young man, but he was more, and he actually wore the college ear protector thing. I was never a wrestler, but he wore like the ear protector thing. Anyhow, he just walked by. I'm not saying in a good mood, but a lot of people did not even know who he was because he was such a new wrestler, but they knew he was somebody because his arms were like this and his neck's like this. Anyhow, my bride just got home from the store. Hey, hun, I'm in here doing a video. Let's go with Will Smith. Will Smith was kind of interesting. So I was home from the Marines, flying back to California. So Will Smith, according to this, is 49. So I'm 60. So I've got 11 years on him. So I forget who dropped me off at the airport. Probably my mom or dad. So I'm 19, 20, or 21. And there was a black limo in front of us. And again, I grew up around O'Hare. I've seen black limos and white stretch limos my whole life. So we pull up, and my dad or mom, I forget which, probably my dad, pulled up to this limo, and the trunk pops open. Well, instead of somebody coming out of the right passenger door or the left passenger door, like in the back seat, the driver gets out, and another driver from the front seat, and another driver from the back left passenger area, all dressed in black. And I'm like, wow, like I've never seen that before. Like, who's this? Well, out of the back right passenger door, Will Smith pops out. So I was in the Marines, so if I'm 20 or 21, Will Smith is 10 or 11. Right? Had the afro going, really handsome young guy. So he was a little bit embarrassed. And this is kind of interesting. So I'm 20. He could have been 9, 10 or 11. And I kind of walked in with him surrounded by these three security guys who were probably whatever 40, 45 years old. But I'll never forget, Crypto Mentor 99 will never forget the eye contact that I had with Will Smith as a little boy, and kind of how embarrassed he was, in my estimation, that he had to walk in to an airport, not like a regular 9 or 10 year old would, or 9, 10, or 11-year-old, but with three guys, and he knew the guys in suits were there to protect him. Anyhow, but I'll never forget this, the not the stare, the locked eyes with Will Smith back in the day. My next one, Andre the Giant. Andre's not around anymore. Now, I saw Kurt Angle and Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea, at the Rosemont Horizon, now the Allstate Center. But I saw Andre at an airport. And you know how I remember it? I was coming back from Chicago from my honeymoon with my bride. So this would have been, I can almost probably tell you the date. No, 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 no. We flew into Boston because we went to Martha's Vineyard for our honeymoon. Flew from Chicago to Boston, so I could tell you the date. It was the afternoon of August the 9th, 1980. Fact checked me. So I'm at the airport, and my bride says, "Hey, I'm a duck in the bathroom." I'm like, okay, I'll wait out here. So I'm standing there, and I look to my right, and I see Andre the Giant walking down the terminal. And I'm not exaggerating, he had a cigar in his mouth like 12 inches long, unlit, big old cigar. And there was another, so Andre the Giant's from France. There was another older man that was with him that I recognized. That was probably kind of like his bodyguard type guy, but he was Rene Goulet. Fact checked me, Google him. So Andre the Giant comes walking down. Rene Goulet comes walking down. Rene Goulet had the tan going, the long bleached blonde hair. It was unbelievable. Anyhow, I have no idea how long this video is, but I'm going to keep on going. So you know what I do? My heart is ready to beat onto my chest. I open the women's door and I say, "Carol, I'll be down by the luggage carousel." And I follow Andre the Giant and Rene Goulet to the, circular turnstile or luggage. And that was before, I mean, it's not like I had a cell phone, right? So I go up and I stand right next to Andre the Giant. And I got married at 22. I'm 22 years old. It's August 9th, 1980. No, August 9th. We're in Boston. And I look up at this guy, and I think he was not comfortable, so many people staring at him. It was almost kind of sad, to be honest with you. So Rene Goulet and Andre get their luggage. They just had like little like overnight gym bags. And I was so sad when I saw them get into this taxi. It like listed the one side, the side that Andre got in. Anyhow, he's a great man. I never knew Rene Goulet, but again, fact checked me. But this was at, is it Logan? Logan International Airport in Boston. And then another guy is Tom Jones. That's an old Tom Jones. The Tom Jones I saw was like him, okay? It was at O'Hare Field. I'm flying back to the Marines. This was weird because this was in the height of Tom Jones' celebrity status, for lack of a better word. I'm at the United Terminal at O'Hare, and I'm just sitting there. I'm in the Marines. I got my Buzz haircut, and I'm in civilian clothes. And I look over, and this was more like the Tom Jones, right? Or like this. But he was all by himself, no bodyguards. He was taking an international flight back to England or London, I guess, right? The UK. And he's combing his hair. Just standing right by the gate. I'm like, no way. So I'm like, I'm gonna go stand by him the same way that I did the Andre the Giant, right? I'm not gonna say anything. So I walked over to him, and he was like facing this way. So his left shoulder was kind of by me, and I just kind of stopped a couple feet away from him, and I was just kind of acting like I was getting something out of my backpack or my pocket or something. And I just remember looking at his left ear and his curly hair. Anyhow, Tom Jones. Last but not least, this is another airport encounter. Okay, Tommy Lasorda, manager or ex-manager of the LA Dodgers. So I'm in the Marines. I'm flying from LA back to Chicago on leave. And I don't know if the Los Angeles Dodgers still have this today, but it was a charter flight with the LA Dodgers logo on the back. So this must have been, fact check me, 80, 81, or 82, 79, 76 to 79, I was in the Marines. No. This was 78 or 79 because then I went to college. So I'm sitting at like a really extreme terminal, like one of the last ones at LA, which LAX, I guess. And the plane lands, and I didn't give it a whole lot of thought. I'm like, well, no, surely the players are going to go like down below and not come out where the normal people are. But couldn't believe it. The first guy out of the gate or out of the door, Tommy Lasorda. Couldn't believe it. Short little guy, had the tan going, had a little briefcase. He was the first one off, and I didn't know any of the players back then because I was more Chicago Cubs, Chicago White Sox. Anyhow, obviously I didn't say anything to him. They must have been on a losing streak or having a bad year that year because he was not, just wasn't all like smiles. And a lot of people kind of gave him his distance or his space because people from LA, they would have known who he is. I didn't. Anyhow, celebrity sightings from Crypto Mentor 99. Wanted to share those with you. Wanted to do something a little off topic this afternoon. My bride's back from shopping, and I'm going to go have dinner. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Share this with a friend, neighbor, or enemy. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.